I'm gonna go ahead and record this. Okay, so I know that it's a little bit, if things are loud in your area, just you can mute yourself, but if not, we'll just leave it unmuted so we can just kind of have an open conversation as you want to ask questions or whatever. But I know it's a busy time of year. I know a lot of people are actually like in qualification and really pushing for end of the year goals with Elite this year. So it can be a lot to talk about it now, but I also felt like we should probably go ahead and talk about it so that when 2017 comes, you know how to kind of go after your goals more specifically. You need to really understand Elite. I mean, it's a cool title, but you really need to know the ins and outs, and you may have coaches yourself who are now like wanting to push alongside of you with Premier or Elite or whatever. And so a lot of what you'll do for Elite is going to be the same with Premier. The point requirements are the same. It's just having there are no cap outs in certain areas, which we'll talk about for Premier, and then you only have to have 2 diamonds versus the 5. So the coolest thing that, and I'm just going to go over a little bit of everything, and so please write in the chat if you want to, or at any point this is an open conversation, so just say whatever you want. But we used to have 3 categories that we were recognized for three categories, and we now have 4. So that is one update that they did make, and I absolutely love it. There are a few updates, but this one I really, really like. If you are familiar, and I should probably start really basic and ask you guys, are you all familiar with like how to see your point updates in your online office? Okay, I'm wondering if I should just show that in a screenshot. So if this is a recording and we could share it with our teams maybe, just in case we have new diamonds pop up. I know when I have a new Coach Go Diamond, sometimes I forget to say to them, oh, by the way, now you get Elite rank updates. I just forget that part of it. As soon as you become Diamond, those points have been calculating and they're going to be able to see it. So let me see really quickly. Hold on. I quit. I always have to quit Safari because Beachbody, like the website never pops up the first time for me. It's like clear all your cookies, clear everything. Come back later. Okay, so I'm going to let that pop up. Your coaches, as they go Diamond, just try to remind them that this is something that they want to look at. It's also a driver for a lot of people when they can pop in and look at it and see like where they are in the company. And honestly, sometimes the rankings are higher when you're newer in the company. So that could be a really fun driver for any of your like really determined new diamonds. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen just so that we can have this to give to our coaches in case they need it. Okay. So they're basically going to go to My Business. They come all the way down to My Qualifications. And then My Elite and Premier Qualification is where they're going to find their information. This is updated, I want to say, every second Friday of the month. And then in like November, it starts updating, I think, weekly because people are pushing for Elite and all that sort of thing. So right now you've got 3 categories. The incremental ATV, which you're seeing in that box down below, personally sponsored Coach PV, and then personally sponsored Coach Success Club. So you can look at this and see that it can get really confusing if people don't know where to look. And I had people actually come to me in like October and say, oh my God, I've been looking in the wrong category this entire time. So if you're pushing for Elite, you're looking at that points category, the column that says points, and you max out at Elite in certain categories. Now, if you're going for Premier, there's no cap in these categories. So you could like crush one category and get the majority of your points there or all of your points there. There's no max, but with elite, it has to be spread out to a certain extent. So you're going to cap at 40 with ATV, 61 with PSPV, and then 61 with PS Success Club. So that's what that means. If people are wondering, like, what do those numbers even mean? Where do I look? You need to be looking if you're going for elite, and points column, and then premier, there's no cap. Okay. So from there, we still have the same point requirement as far as 135 points. You also have to be a paid 5-star or above, and it has to be, sorry, did somebody ask a question? Is it updates weekly? Yes, I think it does begin to update weekly back there. Because I remember, actually, I think it was Carly that she was like, oh, I just saw our update, and I had no idea that they were updating it every week. So paid 5-star and above. Now, the changes in that is that they used to have you holding 5-star paid all through the last qualification period. So basically, you had to stay 5-star through like Christmas. It was like on December 31st, you had to wake up and be 5-star. And that was so stressful for people. And so now it's that you have to be a paid 5-star for 1 week in December. Okay. So that did change at the end of this year. And that's going to remain the same for next year. So that's a good thing. If you happen to drop, and you can pop up for 1 week, you're good. So that you still have to advance 2 new diamonds in 2000. So in 2017, you'll have to find 2 brand new diamonds to advance. Your additional business centers count as those diamonds. So if you're someone who's pushing for 2-star and you open your second CBC, that second CBC could be one of your diamonds that you need. So this is basically applying, like, if you're already a 5-star diamond, in order to hit elite for the next year, you still have to have 2 more new diamonds in that year. Okay, the kicker with that one is that they only have to be diamond for 1 week in December. So it doesn't have to be the same week that you're 5-star. It can be different weeks. So they just have to be a diamond 1 week in December. That was also changed for us this year. Okay, so here are the categories. And a lot of people are like, what's ATV? What's this and that? I don't get it. It's foreign to me. That's normal. Looking at your elite report and feeling like your eyes are crossing is normal. But the more you look at it, the more you're going to become familiar with it. So please look at it. if I, write you and I'm like, so what's up with your ranking? And you're like, I don't have any idea. I haven't checked it in, a month. You have to check it. If this is going to be one of your goals, you've got to be looking at this and just being aware of where you are. So the first category, 1 point you're going to get for every 10,000 ATV points from your team. So incremental, I guess the accumulated team volume, for every 10,000, you'll get 1 point. Now, here's the kicker with that. You don't start earning points until your ATV surpasses the previous year. Okay, so let's just throw out a number. Say your ATV is 500,000 in 2016. You're going to have to reach that 500,000 mark in 2017, and it's going to sit and say 0 points for you until your team hits that mark, and then any points from there on you start earning in that category. Okay, so that'll probably be, most likely, the area where you're going to start to earn points last, because sometimes it'll take a while for your team to catch up with last year's, if you've been coaching for a while. So the second area, you're going to get 1 point for every 500 personal volume by your personally sponsored coaches. So for every 500 PV by your personally sponsored coaches, you're going to get 1 point. But they're only for 2017 coaches. So your rock stars from this year and your rock stars from the years before, sadly, do not count. So you've got to be building new rock stars in 2017. For every 500 PV by one of those 2017 PS coaches, you get 1 point. Everybody understand that? Makes sense? Okay. The third one, and this is one that I absolutely love the addition, is you're going to get 1 point for every 500 PV from a new customer. So if you have, and this is 2017 customers, so they're basically evening out the playing field. Someone can't come in with like bazillion customers, and a new coach comes in with not very many, and they're getting all their points counted. This is 2017 customers that come in. For every 500 PV that you accumulate, you're going to get a point. And I love that. And the reason I like that is because we're earning for elite not based on recruiting. And it's not something that we literally can't control. You know, a lot of these numbers are based on our team. But this you can control. You can control how much you hustle. You can control hitting Success Club, which is going to give you this volume. So for every 500 from a new customer, you get 1 point. Now that maxes out at 25 points, just so you know.
Hey, Nikki, can I ask a question really quick?
Yes, please.
Is that 500 PV per customer, or is that total? Like if you have 2 customers in January, is their PV total up to 500, or is it?
I think it's just taking your total PV, and so for every 500, they'll give you a point.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Okay. The fourth category is one that's already been there, so we could have swapped these, but you're going to get 1 point for every coach, PS coach, that hits Success Club. You're going to get 1 point, but they have to be a 2016 coach or a 2017 coach. So again, you can't be counting on your rock stars that started in the beginning who, you know that you can count on all these 2015 coaches. Well, they're not going to count this year. So you have to be focusing on your newer coaches, 2016 and 2017. If you hit Success Club, they double in that category that month. So the points will double in that category if you yourself hit Success Club 5 or above. So say you had 4 points that month because 4 of your coaches hit Success Club. If you hit Success Club, you would get 8 points in that category. Got it? Okay, and I know some of this for you guys is basic, but I just feel like, especially since we're recording it, we should have it just to be able to share with our teams. So I have elite perks too. I feel like that can be motivating for some people. So I wrote down all the perks of being elite. I'm just going to rattle them off quickly, but obviously the title of elite, stage recognition 2018 Summit, express checkout at Core at Summit in 2018, a custom elite jacket, priority registration at Summit and upfront workout, front of the line workout stuff. $200 for lodging at Summit, an elite evening while there, 2 VIP seats to all the sessions and like opening and closing, 2 elite session invites at the leader retreat, which is like its own little night, a elite reception on the Success Club trip, and then an elite bonus. So I didn't know that in the beginning. You get $100 extra a month just for being elite. And if you're in the top 200 coaches, you earn $500 more. So you're getting $500 bonus a month being elite top 200. And somebody asked a question. Is the cap on that category the same? Yes. No caps for Premier. That's right. Okay. Moving on. So here was one thing that I'm still trying to understand this, and if any of you guys who do understand it want to pop on and correct me, they're also going to change the way the elite rank works. So I never really understood how it worked to begin with. Honestly, like there's so many numbers and I don't do math. I don't understand the whole calculation for like how your team is where in the ranking necessarily. I know it has a lot to do with your elite points and that sort of thing, but there are also other factors. I wrote some of them down. Basically, you're going to get, well, some of this is new, but they're going to, instead of just, I guess, basing a lot of it on recruiting, they're now switching over to like a leadership role. So you're going to get 25 points for every personally sponsored coach that advances from 1-star diamond up to 5-star diamond. So now they're looking at it like, okay, are they creating leaders? Are these people able to reproduce other people who are doing the same thing? And if so, we're going to reward them for that. Because there's honestly a lot of top 10 coaches that aren't even retaining coaches. They're just piling them in there, and it's like they're canceling and they just replace them, cancel and replace them. And it's like a lot of that can be deceiving. Like the top 10 coaches, you might be surprised what a lot of their income is, you know? And so you got to keep your eye on the prize as well, as far as what's best for your family. So if your goal and your why has something to do with income and, you know, that flashy, like elite light, we were talking about this earlier, some of the coaches, distracts you, and you just got to figure out, I guess, like what is the most important. We want to push for elite, but at the end of the day, you want to do it by advancing leaders, and you want to do it the right way. So this is cool that they're rewarding that way. So basically, you're going to get 25 points anytime they start to advance from 1-star to 5-star. Now, there is a cap. I think it's like 75 points per coach. The second, you're going to get 25 points for every personally sponsored coach that earns the title team leader for their first time in 2017. That's amazing. So they're starting to switch over to this leadership ladder rung recognition. And so they're rewarding you for basically showing your team how to move up the ladder. The other thing people were asking, those coaches do not have to hold their rank in December in order for you to be rewarded those points. So maybe they've dropped down in the rung or whatever it is, or they've lost rank from 5-star to 1-star. You still have the points. Okay. Some people, another question I think that might be asked is, do you get rewarded in that category for your additional business centers? And you're not going to get rewarded for your business centers in that particular area. Okay. Another thing you're going to want to tell your coaches who are pushing, or even maybe you have some rocky diamonds that are kind of up and down every once in a while, remind them that they're still earning points. So if their goal is diamond, 2-star, premier, you need to remind them that they start earning elite points on January. And so once they pop diamond, they're going to see all those points in the elite update, because diamond and above get that. So tell your teams that, you know, maybe you're not diamond now, but you're already earning those points. Okay, so here we are with leaders, right? The hope is that you guys are going to start advancing to 2-star diamond, that sort of thing, where you can open up additional business centers. A lot of questions are, what do we do with additional business centers? And so we can always have that conversation if you guys need help with placement and all that, but that's a whole nother Zoom. But for this call, I wanted to talk, what do additional business centers do for us in this scenario? Like, how can they help us? Where do they not help us, basically? This is where you can start to control some things, which is nice, because of your additional CBCs. So for the incremental ATV, that accumulated team volume category, your additional business centers can cover that. So push the majority of your sales through your other business centers, because that's going to drive your accumulated team volume, which is going to allow you to earn more elite points. So not only are you going to be cycling more that way, you also should be doing it because it's growing your ATV. You will not get points in the coach PV category. So for additional CVCs, you do not get points for the coach PV. You will get the points from the customer PV for all business centers, obviously, because we earn PV in all centers. And then the last one, for personally sponsored coaches hitting Success Club, your additional CBCs don't count, and that's simply because we don't earn in multiple CBCs. All of our points roll up to your first CBC. I know it's a lot of information. Any questions about that so far? I'm trying to simplify it, but I also know that it can still be very confusing. So ask any questions. Okay. And stop me if you need to. Okay. Again, always be checking your updates in your Coach Online office every second Friday of the month. Please do that. So, like, what can you guys do moving forward? Basically, you need to start looking at your downline now. You need to, if you're getting on a call with corporate, one of the things they may be doing is having you fill out spreadsheets. Like in the beginning, I remember getting this massive spreadsheet, and I was like, what? They wanted me tracking all these customers and coaches, and I'm like, I have lists, like paper lists. What am I going to do with that? So I had to go through my downline and find every single coach that was, for you guys, you'll be looking at 2016 and 2017 coaches, and you'll want to put them in a spreadsheet because those are going to be the people that count for Elite. And that's where you can start to track, are they hitting Success Club? What's their team volume look like? And you can help them in those areas and kind of steer them in the right direction, in areas that they might be struggling with. So quickly find who your 2016 and 2017 coaches are, because those are going to be the ones that count, and focus on those when you're focusing on Elite things. Find your go-getters. Find them early. Think about, in December, who are going to be my 5 diamonds. And maybe you don't have 5 right now that you can even think of. That's okay. You're going to have some diamonds pop up within 3 to 4 months from their sign up. So think of it like you've got this whole year, but you guys, like, where did 2016 go? It's crazy that it's almost 2017. So you see, I think because our business is broken up into these like quarterly times, I feel like our business flies by. And so it's going to go really fast, and you just need to be prepared and starting, January strong. So find them, tell them, talk to them. I know for me, like, I'm going to reach out and say, like, look, you guys are it. You guys are the ones who are going to make this team Elite. I feel it. I know it. Like, I have confidence in them and what they're going to do. And they're going to be my go-getters, and we're just going to go after 2017 together. So find them, talk about it, and let them be aware. I think that that's another thing that you don't want to be afraid to let them know that they're a part of something big like that, because that's a big responsibility. And I think that it lets them step up. They're either going to step up to the plate and say, yep, I want this business, I'm ready to go. Or you're going to see who's like, maybe I'm not really ready to be pushed so much. And you don't want to be dragging those people at the end of the year, I promise you. Okay. So look at your weak areas. It's another thing that I was doing when tracking for Elite, looking at the weak areas with your points. So maybe it's coaches hitting Success Club. Maybe it's team volume. Maybe it's your coaches volume, which, kind of is contributed to team volume as well. Look at those areas, give incentives for your team in that areas and those categories, and recognize those who are doing those things. Like, I need more coaches hitting Success Club. Recognize the crap out of the ones who are hitting Success Club. Like, show them so much love and recognition. If it's volume, do a 250 PV shout out for all of those who do have the volume and give them a shout out. you have to focus on your energy where you need it most. And that might push people to say, well, I want to be up there. Like, I want to be on that board too. I know as a new coach, when like Brandy Bots would post the big team updates with points, I loved it. Like, I was just the competitive spirit in me. Like, I just wanted to be able to do that every single month. So maybe your new coaches will be driven by something like that. That is the majority of my notes. Oh, the FAQ for this is 2988. So for all like the elite changes, the 2018 elite stuff, it is 2988. Questions for me so far?
Nikki, I have some more questions.
Yeah.
I'm a questioning guru. So really quick on the leadership points, you said there's a 75-point cap.
Yeah.
So, but there's also 25 points awarded to somebody if they become a team leader. So is that included in the 25 or in the 75 cap? So like, let's say they become a team leader, they become 1-star, 2-star, are they done?
I want to say it's 75 cap per coach, like total.
No matter whether it's like in rank advancement or team leader, 75 per coach.
Yes, I want to say that, but I could be wrong. We honestly might want to reread the FAQ again just to see if it's in there. Like, maybe it's already answered. If not, we can always ask. Like, I can ask my corporate mentor and see. Okay.
The other thing is, do you know when the goal guide will be released? Because I checked it right before this call and it wasn't on the FAQ.
It's still not there. And I'm not sure when it will be.
Okay.
I have an old one. I wonder if it's like the same type spreadsheet.
Yeah, but because of everything.
The new stuff, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I'll have to ask Craig that.
Okay. And this is just a personal question.
Yeah.
What do you feel, like, what was your area that you felt was the hardest to gain points in reaching?
My ATV points did not kick in until mid-November. So I was sitting at 0 points in that category until like 6 weeks before the year was up. And so that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a great thing, meaning that our team volume was so good, last year that we had to match that. But then it was just like, to match it took a long time. And so from then, once it did kick in, it was fine and it capped. So I think, as long as you can see ahead of time and say, okay, I am going to hit it at one point, you're fine. But honestly, I'm thinking that for me, this year, it's probably going to be personally sponsored coach PV, or that was the area where I earned the least points in the other two categories. Personally sponsored coaches with Success Club wasn't so bad, because if I was hitting Success Club, the points were doubling. And so you can count on a lot. A lot of you guys are going to hit. So if you have a few coaches hitting, your points are doubling in that category. So it was the personally sponsored coach PV area, which I think maybe this annual challenge pack will really help with 180 PV per thing. That may be really, really helpful for us for this. So that, and you can see up in when you go and look at your elite update too, like what your previous year's ATV was and like what you're going to have to match before yours kicks in.
Can you explain a little bit more about ATV and how they calculate that?
So I literally think it's just they're looking at your left and your right legs. And when your team hits that 10,000 mark in volume, you get the 1 point.
So that's both legs though combined?
That's what I was thinking. Let me look at this again. It's the first 3 lines of sponsorship. So it's your coaches. You can think of it as your coaches, your coaches' coaches, and then so it's like your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids. You can look at it that way. So those 3 lines of ATV are going to count. So anybody who signed up in your first 3, from you, there's you, and then 1, 2, 3. Those first 3 tiers are going to count. So that makes way more sense. But it is still confusing. Like, I don't know how I would actually go into my Coach Online office and be able to like figure that out on my own. You know what I mean? If you're like trying to literally track it, I don't know that you would be able to do that.
Okay.
Just because you're also seeing, you're seeing everyone's downline. You know, it's not just people above me.
Like, that includes all team volume on both legs.
Yeah, I think it's left and right legs. It's just only those 3 tiers. Yeah. Again, that would be a good question that we could ask just to double check. The other thing that I didn't mention to you guys are the multipliers, which is just like another really confusing thing. But if you guys are like, for example, you're really struggling to match your accumulated team volume, like I was saying, mine didn't kick in until November. If you advance 4 or more coaches to Diamond, so if you advance 4 next year, your ATV, 2016 ATV, they're going to multiply it by 10%. So if you advance 4 or more diamonds, they're going to take your total ATV and they're going to tack on 10% of that. So that's really helpful for a lot of people as their ATV grows. The other is if you advance 6 or more diamonds, then they're going to multiply it by 20%, your ATV. Okay, I think that's all of that. Question about that? Okay. Any other questions? I know it's a lot of information. It's going to come quick. Remember, it does take time to build solid diamonds, so you really want to start focusing now. Like, how good would it be to be like, okay, I knocked out my 2 diamonds or however many diamonds that you need earlier in the year, so that you're not feeling that stress towards the end of the year of like, everybody has to hit in this last week or we're screwed and I can't enjoy the holidays and all of that, which is stressful enough that they have these qualifications over the holidays. Any other questions? Okay.
I have another question, Nikki. How do you get a screaming baby to go to sleep?
Oh no! Do you lay him down awake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's teething. He's sick.
Oh man. Yeah, mine. I put in the magic sleep suit tonight. That like puffy thing. She looks like Randy from A Christmas Story. She gets so mad. I like zip her up and just like. The naps like were not any different than normal today. So, and she was in it all day. So we'll see how tonight goes.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, you too. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop.